In this segment, we're going to talk about actually timing and spacing. And the first issue with spacing is how far apart should the words be? So here we're going to answer the age-old question, why did the chicken cross the road? As we look at the words that are on the screen, we notice that why did the chicken cross the road? There's a lot of space in between. You could actually drive a truck through some of these words. What happens in the United States especially is we read basically going from left to right or from top to bottom. And when you arrange your words going from the bottom to the top, it's a little disturbing and hard to follow. So in the beginning, before you get a hold on the program, try to stick to those two rules. So go left to right and top to bottom. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you can't get creative later and you can't have some overlapping. But for now, let's just stick to that until we start to do some of the formatting issues. So the space between the words is called negative space. So let's just try to rearrange some of these words so they make a little bit more sense. We could do why did the chicken, make the chicken quite large, cross the road. And we can sort of use these little guidelines. You'll notice that little yellow lines sort of flash on the screen. In this case, you'll see that when I move the word road to the center underneath the word the, you'll see that there's a little C right there, and the word road is centered under the word the. If I slide it over to the left a little bit, that yellow line will actually line up all three of those words, which is kind of nice. So try to use some of those formatting things that the program gives us right out of the box, and that'll help us a lot. Also, if you want to nudge something down or up, you can grab on it and try to move it just a tiny bit. If you're going to do something like cross the road, make sure that you take a look at the space in between the words also. You want to make sure that you don't have too little or too much space in between the words, because that would be a little disturbing too. At this point, you can do some formatting and do some timing like we did in the last lesson. The default, of course, is only 1 second, so it's going to go by awfully quick. Oh no, I changed this one. It's more than 1 second. So now we can have why. We start at the bottom. Again, here are the layers right here. And they're in the order in which we type them. So why did the chicken cross the road? Just goes right up there. And the same is down here on the timeline. So if you do why did the chicken cross the road, it's the same order. You can work down here or you can work in the layers palette. You can do your timing that way. So why, let's just talk it out. Why did, and then I'm just going to try to use that same spacing. The chicken cross the road. I'm going to show you another trick in a minute. Let's just check this out. Space bar, why did the chicken cross the road? That comes a little fast and the front part is a little slow. So now you can go back in and make your adjustments too. I can slide the whole track over because I'm going to show you the first little trick right now. Across the road. And now I see that at the side here, I have everything coming off the screen at different times. And what you want to do here is real easy. You're going to hold your shift key down and you're going to click, 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 click all the layers that you want to work with and simply again hit the letter O to create an out point so everything will go off the stage at the same time. Let's go back and see what we did. Move our little playhead. Why did the chicken cross the road? Now I'm going to change that out point because that's about all I want of that. I'm going to change the out point because it's way too long. So I'm going to move my playhead. Everything is still selected. Hit the letter O, and we're in business. Remember, you can collapse your group this way and open it up. So now we're talking about the spacing issue. First we got timing, now we got spacing. Notice we have some nice negative spaces in here. Things aren't too spread out. Another really fun idea is to move all your objects so that they start to make, hey, what's going on here? Can't move things with the text tool. You gotta use your move tool. Why did, go back to your, you see how nice that lights up like that? Make the chicken nice and small. You can sort of think of your objects creating their own geometric shape when they're on the screen. So if I did, why did the chicken cross the, you see how that makes a nice, I'm going to track those a little bit. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Cross the road, and maybe I'll make a bigger deal out of road. Holding the shift key will keep the word road. I'm actually going to make that capitals too. Watch this one. Road. So road is the more important word here, I guess. So I'm going to drag that so it lines up, holding the shift key so it doesn't ruin the integrity of the letters. And you can sort of smush things together, tighten up the kerning, which is the space between the lines of text, and play with that a little bit. Here, I just want to move Y. There's a little too much space in between the letters, and I want to just nudge it over. So that is called tracking. And we go over here to our inspector, and we go over here under Format on the Text tab, and you see tracking, which is right here. So right now it's set to 0. If I move it to the right, it spreads the 3 letters out. If I move it in, it smushes them together. It gives me a little bit of a tighter arrangement. I think I should move that back out a little. So there you go. That looks pretty good. So why did the chicken cross the road? Now let's take a look at that. Why did the chicken cross the road? Now, aside from the spacing issues that you see here, what I'd like to do here is I want you to take a look at where this square is on the page, and notice that now all the negative space is all around it. So that might work depending on where your next group of letters is going to be. But for our argument's sake, let's just drag a marquee around the whole group, and let's see what it looks like if we move it sort of a little bit more centered. Again, there's my little yellow flashing bar, and I can make it dead center if we want like that. So that's kind of interesting too. Why did the chicken cross the road? Let's see what chicken, I want chicken to look a little differently too. So we're using a basic Helvetica. So let's see what that looks a little bit neater. It kind of takes a little bit of the attention and brings it to the word chicken. So you can start to play with that a lot right now. So we're talking here about the negative space in between the objects, in this case, which are the words. That next time. So why did the chicken cross the road? I haven't a clue.